Welcome to today's video. This one we're gonna do the Alteryx challenge 365. What we have is the challenge based on the Lego themes. We have two options, either beginner or intermediate. Uh, we're gonna have a look at both together. We do have a lot of input files, so we have four of those guys. It's to do with Lego piece. So first, the inventory, we may have ID that belong to a set. You may have a different version. If we look the thing on the left, most of the version is version 1, so we may worry about duplications potentially. So for example, if we just pick any particular set number, let's see how we can trace this item. Yes, the one we're looking for, 11 for beginner, 11148. Let's see. So we do have a particular entry that can belong to a set. Let's do some tracing, follow the set. In the model, so for this particular set, okay, we have some, so this model number is the one for the set ID. We can do some joins, some parts. If we continue to trace in this one, if we have a particular set, okay, that's good. You have one entry. For the set, you have the names of the set, the year produced, the themes. The theme, you have ID column, so we may need to find the theme ID. That indicate the first three data source. We're gonna do some kind of join, probably just join a set number. That's the job for the scene. Yeah, we have 601 speed jumping. Parent ID, so you may have a set belong to other set. In terms of the output, we can see we only looking for 5 columns. They're not looking for the parent set. Yeah, so we may not need to worry too much about the complications. From the filter, you can see we can trace the number individually, so that's not too bad. That should be able to handle with the beginner. For the intermediate level, we're looking for to build an app. We want to display the results, which they give some kind of sample view for the set. For the text inbox input, run the app, then we have a table. For the picture, they didn't give the picture, so we probably can not worry too much about it. The output file, you have a PDF format. Okay, that's fine. Let's actually join the dataset together to have a look what we have. Let's zoom out. So we know we have the set ID. Let's do some joins. Copy the first one to the second one. Do the joins. Second, because we don't have a common field, it's a set number that should match with model number. Let's just run it to see how the join goes. Usually join is a pretty good step to check the data set you have. We have, okay, majority is joined, so left, nothing from the left. We have some is left over from the right. So, oh, potentially, probably because for this particular model, you do not have any parts, so you probably don't have any inventory to that. When you join, I strongly recommend people always check the left and the right anchor to see anything falls out and have some reasonable sense. It's indeed what you would expect. If we look at the row number, for inner join, we have a 11681. For this one, yep, other inventory, that's the same number. ID is 1, so every ID is unique. For the sixth set number, we have 4167. So we probably have more, yeah, we have more inventories and sets. So that indicates probably you have multiple, potentially you can have multiple items belong to a single set. Fair enough, but it says in the join, we may have some falling out. Now, because this is our challenge, so we may not need to worry, potentially may not need to worry too much about it. But in practice, you may want to do some additional computation or some kind of alert to indicate that you're not expecting anything to fall out. To proceed, we can continue to do the join with the third data source. What we have, we'll continue to say set number. So set number, the right input has that as well. Okay, we deselect the repeating column. Let's see the joins. So what we have is 11681. Let's have a look at the inner join. Okay, that's good. 11681 number match up. Everything on the left comes in. There's something falling out on the right. And those right, I think that's actually corresponding to, yes, it's corresponding to the previous falling out, which you may have a set that may not have individual inventory ID. As a side note, because we join on a common field, you could potentially to use is a multi-join. So let's see, we can join. This is handy if you have a multiple data source, similar structures. In this particular case, we can see, just to run it to see the difference. The potential issue we have a model number. Let's probably select the duplicate. Yes, on the previous, on the top, even though you have two separate tools, you have, what's the guess? Yeah, we'll get some duplication on it. So that handles the missing values. You do capture all the things, but the downside is if there's something mismatch, you may not be able to find what that mismatch is. If you do on the top individual joins, you are able to trace better on what's the issue. It's from the left anchor or from the right anchor. You can check from which data source you may have this. If you're sure everything guaranteed to match up, then maybe you can multi-join. Is more compact way of doing things. For us, I think because the whole eventual app come from the input of item ID. So, oh no, sorry, ID number. Yeah, this is the set number. So that indicate for us, we'll probably need to rearrange our joins. So, because the set is item we're looking for, so let me rearrange as the set as the base entry because we know this is not missing anything out. Then we're going to do the corresponding set number. So we're going to do the inventory as a second join rather than the first join. Set number matchup. Then we know the model number should match set number. Duplication item we don't need. Then we can just quickly drag a second one. So set number should probably match up because we have the same amount of entries. It's always good to constantly check how many things you have. So 673, 673. So they should match up. Then we have the ID individually for the entries. So we can still use model number. So that's a set number. Regarding to the set number the duplication. So I can put a job in this particular row. Let's see the final results. So 673. Yeah. So right is fine, left is fine. Yeah. Yeah, same as before, really. Yeah, because we're going to use is the set number, so it's better to trace that instead. Sorry, we're going to use model numbers, so better use that to trace. That's done. Let's have a look. Let me just take a screenshot for the columns, so we can keep track the column headers. Okay, take a screenshot. Found on the side. Because in the join tool, you do have a select embedded in it. You can select your columns, rename. For the simplicity of it, let's just drag select individually as it is to handle the columns. Let me go on the side. So what we're looking for is, let's deselect our column. Given the answer we're looking for model number first. So that's the model number we want. We'll rename it. Model number. Looking for model name. So that will be the name column. model. Yeah. Then we're looking for year released year. Year LESD. Number of parts. Number of parts. So probably change the order of it just to fit respective answer. Number of parts. Last one we want the collection name. So that's the theme. Not the same ID. It's just the name column. Did I forgot to select the theme? Set number. So let's join. I probably should rename better. Set number, set motor number, motor parts. Oops. Same ID as this. ID we don't need. Version we don't need. Oh, I lost the column. Where did I lose my column then? So all the things on the left, the first join should handle all the things. So set number is selected. Yeah, the collection should be collection name. So the name should be the collection name. Then all right, let's do some live troubleshooting. Okay, let's change this first. You join the theme, so this is the collection name. Ideally, you want to do it in the final one. Make it a bit consistent to trace. But in this particular case, you lost. Why not? Move back up. So this to the right. So that's from the. I know why that's the issue because I haven't done the themes. That's a little bit stupid. So we join the three set. We've got to join the themes. Da-da-da. One more join. That is it. So what we're looking for is in the left join, we have the things, either scene ID with the ID field. Better. ID is a comma, name is a duplication, and write the name. Let's not worry about it. Parent ID, we don't keep track, so no, let's keep it this. We can also do the select to handle all the things in one place. You can leave comment in each of the joins. So for example, we can also use say this is for the collection or for scene. Scene, but it's easy to track which name you have. So this should be the collection name. We don't parent ID, okay. So let's just run it. So intended is 5 results. Let's just check out the thing we have. If we're looking for the model number, so you have McLaren Speed Champion. If oh, that's too many. Select individuals. We select cell again. Individual cell. We can probably just search for. Yes. So for the first one, beginner level, you can search as model number. We do get the 5 columns we need back. That's good. To build the app, we can continue to finish the reporting tool. Now, the quick way I will go for is we can also embed the app interface later. Let's build the reporting first. What we have, we already have a table output. That's good. That's probably something we want. Then we just grab a table. That's nothing too demanding for this one. We're going to leave everything as a default. We do aim to produce the final PDF report that indicates we need a render tool to view the report. If we're dragging, again, we'll leave everything as default. On the top is PDF. We can just quickly run it. Let's run the tool. Don't worry about the error message because we have a lot of fields. So once our choose wrong, it will go to the temp engine and save a temporary PDF. We can click on it. This should produce a PDF report for us. So yes, so that's something we aim to get. Of course, we're gonna use the app to filter on the model ID. That's what we intended. If you do have a picture, you can start to adding a separate picture with a table. Then you probably need a layout tool to arrange how the table and the text behave each other, adding the same entry, different entry, etc. So the data is done. Let's handle the app. To build an app, if we go to the left side in the configuration pane, by default we have workflow. If we change it to app, will change slide view. So you will start to see all different things. Those interface anchors appear on top of the tools. What we want to let the user to be able to select, enter the model number. Depends on how you want to perform, how performant you want your app is. For us, if you do not have excessive large data set, probably here does the job. A filter tool. I'm going to just use this as dummy input. So we want for the filter our model number equals this string. Because we have a lot of joins in the front, in some kind of production environment, you may have a huge amount of data. This may not be sensible to do it join every single place. Then you could apply a filter much early on, before the first join. You potentially could to narrow down the search results. For us, 10,000 rows isn't too much of an issue, so let's not worry too much about that. So two anchors, at least you select a number, that's fine. Give people the chance to input your text input. That's the interface of the app. So in the interface, we're looking for there's a text box. So you allow people to enter free entry. In terms of connection, usually I still prefer to use the Lightning hub. The Lightning icon, it gave you more options. You do have an action to perform. So you have more granular control. Let's use this one. You click on the drop down, we can go for the query results. So the operand value, so that's the string we want to replace. We're gonna check the box. We want to replace whole string. Even though you can select things without checking in particular part of the string, as in this particular case, we try to replace every single thing. In best practice, we'll probably recommend you to do that as well. Sometimes the quotation on the string is a bit fiddly. Of course, the downside of this is make sure if you do update to a different value, you got to update your action tool as well. We'll kick out. So since seems to connect it, let's just say we picked a particular number. You can always test your app. Once it's up, you have the little magic wand. You click on it, that brings the interface up. So we see, select more, three, I think. We can test, run, input our stuff. That's good. We get a pop-up, see the PDF is produced. If we click OK, that should open the PDF for us. So we have our model number, we have our collections needed. So that should be able to handle the intermediate part. The last part, FU async, yes, the pictures. Personally, I never formatted excessive for the interface to itself. You do have interface designer, which you can start to add in. I think you can probably add group box tab. Yeah, and personally never used it, so I think you can redesign the options, use graphics maybe somewhere, but I don't think that's the intended part of this challenge. Yeah, so that's the app. Thanks for watching.